So, hey, really quick, just out of curiosity, by round of applause, how many people in the audience today are foreigners, expats, not from Poland? Yes. But don't be afraid, it's not a passport control, I'm just curious, it's all right. So you guys already know that one of the biggest ways to make your life an adventure is to move to a foreign country. And that's what Chris, Derek, and myself have done. We were all born and raised in the US, and we wanted to take an adventure and try something new and get outside of our comfort zones. So we moved to Poland. And which you can already see, like, you know, for us it was this amazing thing, but still to this day, after so many years of living here, that's not always clear to people that are from here when they see someone move from a larger country to a smaller place like Poland. So still to this day, when I meet a Polish person, very often they'll be like, "Oh, you're American. What are you doing in Poland? Why are you, hold on, wait. You're an American. And you live here, and that was your choice. It was your decision. Dlaczego?
Sometimes it's confusion, but oftentimes we're met more with suspicion. So, you're in Poland, huh? I can see them reaching for their phone, trying to take a picture of me so they can go compare it to the FBI's 10 most wanted list or something. Obviously, I've killed and murdered many people, and I've made my way to Poland to escape justice.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
This isn't being recorded, is it?
What? No. But, you know, being on this, when you set yourself out to go on an adventure, when you move to a foreign country, you kind of brace yourself for the big things. And you're waiting for the big things, because those are the things that are going to throw you off and make everything crazy. Language, culture. But once you land, you usually find that it's actually the little things that are the most significant, the mostly stand out to you. Like Chris has been out here for the longest, and he's going to tell you a few things. Chris, how you doing today? I'm good. Oh, good.
Good for you.
Oh, thank you. Good, yeah.
Americans, we're always good. I didn't realize that we're always good until I moved to Poland. Yeah, how are you? Good. You know, the thing is, I learned about something as simple as how are you. I moved, you know, in America, we use how are you differently than you guys do. For instance, in America, this is how are you? This is how it's done.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. It's a greeting, you know, like a hello. To prove the point, sometimes we don't even answer the question.
How are you?
How are you?
Just like that. So obviously, because they're American, we're just happy no one was shot. But the point is that the how are you, how it's used. But you have to remember, though, is that we say good, sometimes we say fine, sometimes we say okay. Now, you might think that those are all very positive answers, but they're not. They're very, very different. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? Good. Someone says, how are you? I say, I'm good. And what that means is, I'm great. I'm great. An example, this morning, my wife and I made love. I'm good. For then there's the I'm fine, which is not so good. This morning, my wife and I made love, and I spent 4 hours in the bathroom crying. I'm fine. Then there's okay, you know, okay, which is not good at all. This morning, I made love, and now the prostitute is dead. I'm okay. So, the thing is that the funny thing about it is that we say good, you know, we're always positive, we're American, but the funniest thing happened. I moved to Poland 11 years ago, and I'm walking down the street, and I'm walking down the street, minding my own business, and I see somebody, a Polish person that I knew. And I'm walking down the street, and I'm like, hey, how are you?
Chris, I'm so glad you asked. Work.
"20 minutes later.
Work has been really hard, and you know, Zeus, and my kid's in the hospital, and I mean things.
So they tell you how they feel here. They will tell you. If it's good, if it's bad, you know, they'll tell you everything. And I realized that when we say, how are you, we don't mean it. Because we don't care. And so I had to adjust, and I learned that if I say how are you, I try to say it when I actually mean it, and so things have changed. But another thing that I like to tell, the story I love to tell that people like is I was born hearing impaired, so I spent a lot of my life saying what, why that, and I grew up doing hearing tests all the time. Computers, they put the headphones in your ears, the whole thing. And I moved to Poland, I get this job, and they say you have to do a physical. So they give me a translator, and I go to the doctor's office, and they say, in the next room, you're going to do your hearing test. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So the translator and I walk into the room. And we walk into the room, it's a big empty room with a desk, and an old woman standing behind it, played by Jim. And so I walk into the room, and I think, well, maybe this is where they're going to take me to the other room with all the equipment and computers and things. And instead, the nurse asked me to please come up here and stand with my face against the wall, and my translator's sitting beside me, and this is what happens.
Swishish minye.
Can you hear her?
I thought they were playing a joke on me. Huh? So that was my hearing test in Poland. No cameras, no practical jokes, but that was the experience. And so I thought, this is so great. You know, this experience is so wonderful, all these great challenges, all these great adventures. I have to share this. So I call up my friend back in Florida, my friend Derrek, my translator, and I said, you need to come to Poland. You need to check this out.
That's right. So he told me, Derrek, you need to move to Poland. He said, the beer is good and the women are beautiful, and I am just that easy. So there was a job opening at the Polytechnic. I decided to take it. And now I knew things were obviously going to be different. And what I appreciate about Poland is you let everybody know how different it's going to be immediately. And that's because nobody else in the world claps when a plane lands. Before I had moved to Poland, I had probably been on, 50 or 60 flights, and there was never any clapping. Not even when I went to New York and it was sarcastic. There was never any clapping, but the first time I fly from Florida, I land in Warsaw, and really my first thought was, did we just almost die? And I didn't even know it. But then flew from Warsaw to Wrocław, and once again, I'm like, nope, I guess this is a thing. Now, I don't know who I have to do this for. What do I know about Poland at this point, other than that this is where pierogi and polar bears come from, right? So, of course, I have to take a taxi from the airport to where I'm going to be living. So we get to where I'm going to be, pay the taxi driver, and I'm like, okay, not taxi drivers. Then needed to get some food, so I unpack, Chris gets us on a bus, takes us into town to get to a restaurant, get off the bus. Not bus drivers. Okay, so apparently it's only pilots that you have to do this for. And what I'm curious about is if Polish, or pilots that are used to only flying in Poland, if they get spoiled. Like if they fly anywhere else in the world, that when the plane when the plane lands, if nobody claps, do they just take right back off?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. I can't help but notice you did not put your hands together. I'm going to need to hear some applause if you want to get off this aircraft.
So then I think these guys are a little bit spoiled. So finally, one time when I was flying, we land, and I'm like, never mind. Boo! Boo, you call that flying? That wasn't nothing. And you know, despite the fact that everybody else on the plane is clapping, they heard me booing. Are they booing us back there? They're judging us. And that's one of the things, kind of amazing about Poland is it seems like you get off the plane, somebody hands you a żywiec and someone to marry. So all of us here are married to Polish women. Every foreign guy I know is married to a Polish woman. I could make fun of Polish guys right now, but I won't do that. So now when I met my wife, the woman I would eventually marry, she had a 4-year-old dog. So because the expression is you can't teach an old dog new tricks, I had to learn Polish to speak to the dog. At one point, I was taking private lessons. I was spending 50 zloty a week, essentially so I could be more grammatically correct for the dog. And I'm going to ask you, do you think she appreciates this effort that I put in? No. I try to do things like, Gapa, chodź tu. Shud, daj mi łapy. And she just looks at me like, you have the worst accent.
As I've been on my adventure, I haven't had as much trouble shaking hands with dogs. It's been mostly people because, it's been great and really eye-opening, but when you're on an adventure, there are a lot of, series of challenges, and when you move to another country, a lot of times it's like starting over, and you feel like a child because you don't understand basic things. Like the thing that threw me off in the beginning was I really had trouble meeting people because I couldn't get the greetings down. Like, people in Poland shake hands, and of course, in the States, we shake hands also, but these are not the same things. Like, in Poland, there's the phrase uścisk dłoni, which, as I understand, translates to hand squeeze, right? But normally, when I meet a person in Poland and they're Polish and we go to meet each other, they give me one of these, kind of like, I don't really know what this is. It's kind of like a chicken wing without any bones. It's like, there's no uścisk. Gdzie jest te uścisk? I'm feeling uścisk. In the States, we have plenty of uścisk. Actually, too much, and that was one of the things that drove me out of my own country was the American-style handshake, because everyone's super aggressive, mega macho, because everyone ate an entire cow for breakfast. And when you go to meet an American, they walk up to you like,
Hi, Bob Johnson.
Shut fuck up! Okay.
Sorry about your hand.
And that's stupid. So I went out into the world in search of a better handshake, and I found myself in Poland. And at first I thought people were doing this especially for me, because in English we say handshake. Shake. So I was like, no, that doesn't mean here, you do something with this. It's not the point. But the cool thing about being out here and being in a foreign country is you open yourself up to new perspectives and new ways of doing things and new ideas. Like, one of my favorite things about being in Europe in general, but specifically in Poland, is when I go into a store and I buy anything, the price on the thing that I buy is actually how much I pay for it. Which, if you've never been to the States, you don't know that we don't do it that way. You can't imagine it could be any other way, but let me tell you, we like to make it a little game, a little complicated. Because if you go into a store in the States, you take something off of the shelf, it says, oh, $2.99. You can walk around the store with it, you know, develop a sense of ownership, take it up to the cash register, put it down, and the person working is going to ask you for about $3.24. Because we wait till the very last second to add the tax and tell you what the final price is. It's like this big surprise. And that would be okay if tax was something easy like 10%, but usually it's something weird like 7.23 or 8.14. And most of us grew up in the American public education system, so math. And like, you know, if you buy a couple of things and it's like decimals and fraction and it's like when you eat ice cream too fast and your brain locks up, and you just put it on the credit card. Just put it on the credit card. So basically, no one in the entire country knows how much anything costs. Like, you can even ask the person that works in the store. You'd be like, excuse me, how much do I have to give you to take this out of the store?
I don't work here.
So it was an eye-opening experience. It was amazing. The first time I came to Poland, and I went into a store, went into a Żabka, and I took a beer, and the beer said 3 zloty on the bottle. And I was ready to pay. I walked up to the cash register, put it down, and the person working at the cash register said,
3 złote.
And I said, right, that's the price, but please tell me, how much does it cost?
So?
And I realized I said that in English. I realized I said that in English. I said, proszę, powiedz mi, ile kosztuje?
3 złote.
Nie, to jest tej cena. Powiedz mi, ile kosztuje?
3 złote.
Nie, to jest tej ceny. Powiedz mi, ile kosztuje? Ile kosztuje?
Kosztuje jest cena, cena jest kosztuje. 3 złote, proszę pana.
And at that moment, the heavens opened up and a bright light came down to me. My eyes opened and I said, son of a bitch, you can do that? I gotta move here. And I did, and it's been amazing ever since. And like I said, you know, you open yourself to new perspectives, but the other thing that I think all three of us have gained from this experience of living abroad is you're much more likely when you move into another country and kind of start your life fresh over to take risks, to try things you've never tried before, or to try things you've always wanted to try. All three of us grew up as big fans of stand-up comedy, and we grew up listening to albums, George Carlin, Bill Cosby, all of them, but we never took the chance to try it until we came out here. And we had the opportunity, and from out here for the last 2-3 years, we've been doing stand-up comedy, having a show every month in Wrocław, touring around Poland, doing shows, and it's really worked out for us. So we would like to invite you guys to step outside of your comfort zone, visit a foreign country, move and live in another place for a while, see and open up to new perspectives, and when the adventure of life walks up to you and looks you in the face, you stick out your hand and you say, me wo me.